Hello and welcome to our preview of the Iron Bowl of basketball, the rematch between Auburn and Alabama. Alabama won it the first time in Tuscaloosa. This time, however, we go to Neville Arena, where the Tigers have been, I don't know if invincible is the word, but pretty tough. I'm Chris Lee, joined by Blake Lovell and Max Barr. Before we get into it, a reminder, this is brought to you by BetOnline. It's playoff time. The usual suspects are heading to Vegas for the championship. Our partner BetOnline is your number one source for football odds, stats, trends, and lines, with everything from point spreads to hundreds of bets on everything from the coin toss to the color of Gatorade. BetOnline is the number one source for your championship wagering. Head to BetOnline, join today, get in on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here. This one will start at 6 Central. Again, it is in Auburn. You can catch this on ESPN2. This is the rematch of the January 24th game, which Alabama won 79-75. Close game then, sets up as a close game now. Max, what are we thinking on lines and all those things?
I've got Auburn -3.5. I could see it being -4. Could also see it being down to minus. I don't really think it'll get down to -2. I have Auburn as about a 1 to 2 possession favorite.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's gonna be a close game. Is what the line's gonna say. If you look at, what's this, Blake?
No, continue.
Oh, you don't think it's gonna be a close game?
We'll get there.
Oh my goodness! All right. I'll set it up for you. Previous opponents for each team. We've got Auburn coming off of a huge road win at Ole Miss, where they trailed in the first half. A little bit of a confidence boost shooting wise. They hadn't really put together a nice shooting performance on the road yet, so they're coming off of that. And then obviously Alabama off the drilling of Mississippi State at home. Looking forward, both of them go on the road to about middle of the table teams right now. We got Auburn going to Florida, Alabama going to LSU. So bit of the same spot for both teams. Not going to be looking ahead, not going to be getting let down. This is the game that they've been looking forward to, the rematch here. I'm going to save my analysis for second time around. I'm throwing it to Blake. I feel like Blake's got something good here.
Hey, this is the Iron Bowl of basketball. No one's overlooking this game. Everybody is all in on this game that will be played at Neville Arena. And if you go back to the last game, the electricity was so through the roof in that game that it couldn't even stay on. I mean, that's how big this game was. And it may be the same case here. I wouldn't be surprised if Auburn pulls a little shenanigans, perhaps. Maybe we see the lights go out early in this game, just as a little payback. I wouldn't mind seeing that. So this is going to be great. I mean, these are, again, the two teams that, certainly have a lot of upside. They have been able to kind of do what they do well. And, of course, Auburn bounced back, just as some of us predicted, with a big week. Double-digit win over Vanderbilt, double-digit win at Ole Miss, which I think was way more impressive than maybe some people will give them credit for. Meanwhile, Alabama has been a machine. They just come off a 32-point win over Mississippi State. They have dominated people across the board here. And, yeah, the Tide sitting alone in first place, a lot at stake. They win this game. The Alabama Crimson Tide are going to be feeling pretty good about themselves as they make the march towards another SEC regular season championship. What's not to like here in this matchup?
Well, we're going to start with strength on strength. Looking at Ken Pom conference only, Auburn is the best defensive team in the SEC in league play. Alabama, the best team on offense in SEC play. Alabama's offense, we have talked about it nonstop. 5-6 games of over 100 points. We know what this team can do. Now, the interesting part of the matchup, I think, is on the other side, where Auburn has, compared to its defensive effort, struggled a little bit. It is 5th in the league in offense. Alabama, 4th in the league in defense, and it seems like it is getting better. Some interesting stuff here. Auburn, we've talked about the three-point percentage. It is shooting 34% from three in league play. That is 8th in the league. Now, one thing it's doing extremely well is hitting free throws, almost 81% in league games. Yeah, the strength on strength when Alabama's got the ball is interesting, but I think there's a chance this is decided on the other side. and whether Auburn can hit shots and whether Alabama's defensive improvement holds up to what we've seen of recent, Max.
Yeah, I think that's probably as good as a way to lay this game out as you can. As far as when Alabama is on offense, last game, Rylan Griffin and Latrell Wrightsell shot 9 of 16 from 3. Now, I know Sears only made 1. He'll probably make more. But if Griffin and Wrightsell combine for 9 threes again, I would be pretty surprised. On the flip side, Auburn shoots 5 of 25 as a team. If they only make 5 threes, I would be surprised as well. So I think Auburn's going to shoot a little bit better. And where the support around Sears might, come back to the means a little bit. Sears is not only making 1 3 in this game. At least I don't think so. I think we'll get a better performance than him as last time. And Sears was a little bit hobbled last time as well. If you remember, he had a little bit of an ankle. The only thing, though, about strength on strength when Alabama has the ball is the turnovers. They are one of the worst teams in the SEC as far as taking care of the ball is concerned. In conference play, I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but I think they're second to last in turnover rate and last in steal rate. And so with this Auburn defense, especially at home, I can see those turnovers, runouts leading to Cardwell dunks, and then he goes and gets the crowd going nuts. And just a lot of opportunity for Auburn's defense as far as steals and turnovers are concerned. The other thing that I wanted to touch on was I think this is Alabama's hardest road game of the entire year for them. If you look at some of their other tough road games, they had to go to Creighton in mid-December. That was a tight battle, 85-82 loss. They had a chance in that one. But other than that, toughest road game, they had to go to Mississippi State where they won a close one. They'll go to Kentucky in late February, but this one's probably the toughest road game of the entire year for Alabama, and Auburn's undefeated at home. So as far as the individual matchups are concerned, it's going to be a high-scoring game, I think. But I don't know. I still don't know who I'm picking. I want to pick one team, but I don't know if I can do it. I'm wavering back and forth, Blake.
Let's just get to the picks. Chris, you're up.
Okay. 2 things that stick out on the stat sheet. 2 foul participation. Alabama is 172nd in the country. Auburn is 31st, and I think that's in a bad way. Auburn's bigs can get in foul trouble, but I think that's a little bit of a misleading stat because Auburn has got so much depth. It can play more aggressively, which leads me to the next point. The one thing that Alabama does not do well on offense, that's protect the ball. 13th of 14 teams in the SEC in turnover rate, 19.1%. Auburn, on the other hand, number 1 in the conference at forcing turnovers, and these are in league games, 19.8%. I think Auburn's depth in the post is going to be a difference. I think it's got an eraser underneath and Janai Broom. I think that it does something defensively. It does a lot of things defensively that can give people problems, but it does the one thing really well that really gives Alabama problems. And it's the only thing that gives Alabama problems on offense. But give me those things. Give me the fact that it is in Auburn. I will take the Tigers. Max, you're up next.
I think you just persuaded me, Chris. I'm taking Auburn. That was a great breakdown.
Oh, we put our man on the spot. I love it when we do this.
Wow. What an interesting decision.
Watch him squirm.
The man right here, of course, as we know, as part of my bold predictions, I picked the Alabama Crimson Tide to win the SEC when everybody else was doubting the Tide. They didn't think the Tide were going to roll, but I did. I said they're going to roll right into another SEC championship. That was my bold prediction. After, of course, they were 6-5. And everybody at the time's thinking, what are you doing? Why are you jumping on the bandwagon? It's because this team's going to come out and they're going to shoot threes. They just put up 48 threes against Mississippi State. They might shoot 75 in this game just to get the win. They may shoot 75 3-pointers in this game because, as you guys said, it may be hard to get anything easy against this Auburn team defensively when they're running in 14 guys here and there, and there's all sorts of stuff. The depth for Auburn, right? That's what everybody wants to talk about. Well, I'm here to tell you that I said earlier, Max is bringing up how this is going to be a close game, and I'd be stunned if this wasn't close. The spread's going to be 3.5 or 4. If it is 3.5 or 4, take your money out of your pocket, run to your nearest bookie, and you put that money on the Auburn Tigers here, because I think Auburn is going to win big in this game because of the reasons that you guys just pointed out. Everything, when you look at this, where has Alabama struggled? Auburn is going to take advantage of that on the road. We've seen Alabama play a road game against which teams? Vanderbilt, Georgia, Mississippi State, and Tennessee. Who is the best offensive team of that group?
Tennessee.
Who is the best defensive team in that group?
Tennessee.
Okay, so now they're playing at Auburn, who is very similar to Tennessee in a lot of ways when you look at the numbers. And now they've got to go on the road with a turnover problem and play against this Auburn team that's out for blood. They're out for revenge. The Tigers are ready to pounce. For the light snafu, for everything else that's led to this point, everybody was doubting Auburn after they lost the 2 games back-to-back. I said, don't fret, Tigers. Don't fret. You're going to be just fine. Auburn has won 18 games by double digits this season. They may do it again here. Give me the Tigers in this matchup.
Max, I should have known this was coming. We, always enjoy it when we back into a corner and we feel like we got to make him make a certain thing. This man came out salty from the jump. He's already accused Auburn of planning a power outage to screw with Alabama. And now he's giving Alabama the kiss of death.
Oh, hold on a second. I wasn't finished.
I'm sorry. There's more.
Alabama fans, you're welcome.
I think that is the.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know. And I know some of you know.
That Blake has had yet this year.
Alabama fans, if you know, you know.
Okay. This man needs to run for office. He really does.
He'd be a good speaker.
He plays politics like it's an election year. He really does.
Well, clean sweep for Auburn.
We got our picks. So there's certainly no, jinx possibly in play for the Auburn Tigers at all. There's no way that I would pick last to do anything of that sort to help Alabama. Let's make that perfectly clear.
Now that we have given Auburn the Southeastern 14 kiss of death, you may join in the comments. Auburn fans, you may be angry at us. Alabama fans, you can gloat once you win this one.
Yeah.
Just be here for it. We have fun with it. We hope you do too. We love our SEC basketball. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We hope you don't either. But in any case, can't wait to see this one. We'll be here to recap it on either Wednesday night or Thursday morning. Best way to see it, hit the subscribe button, enable your notifications so you know when we've got content. Tell a friend. And again, join in the comments. If you join us live, have some fun with us. For Blake Lovell and Max Barr, I'm Chris Lee. This is Southeastern 14 presented by BetOnline.